All right. Everything looks good. Let me check my feed. As far as I know, everything is working okay. Good. So, welcome everybody. This is our later edition podcast, all right, for our restructuring, all right, our framework, our architecture, whatever you guys would like to call it. All right. This is for the Brotherhood of Male Witches. You might know them on Facebook or you might not know them. All right. Nonetheless, everybody is welcome. So blessings and blessed be, merry meet and blessings, depending on which one is less aggratory towards you. Tonight we're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to sit back, have some laughs, talk about some stuff. Feel free to comment below if you would like. So does your practice have a personality? And if it does, it might need therapy. That is the topic of tonight's live is, does your practice have a personality like mine? And if it does, it just might need therapy. So I'll give it a few seconds here. All right. So tonight we're not here to analyze spirits. We're not here to talk about investigations or researching or path or magic per se in a serious tone. Tonight we are not analyzing tools. We are analyzing our practices, our personal ritual practices, our discipline, but we're going to have some fun with it. Is your magical practice, if your magical practice walked into the room right now and it was a person, what would we think of them? If your magical practice walked into this room right now as a person, what would it be? What would we think of them? Would they be a stable person? Would they be a dramatic person? Would they disappear for a few weeks at a time, like some of our friends do on social media? Would they start 10 things all at once and not finish one of them, etc.? You get the idea. Let that sit. Tonight isn't about being strict, it's about having fun. And tonight is about being honest. So type one word in the chat below that best describes your practice if you have one. If you don't, that's okay. I see somebody has joined the live. Welcome, whoever you are. So type one word in the chat that describes your magical practice if you have one. Intense, moody, structure, chaotic, dramatic, exotic, explosive, you get the idea, seasonal, obsessive, disciplined, inconsistent. So pick one and comment below if you want, and I'll address them, and I'll address you by name. If your practice was a roommate, and if your practice lived with you, would it pay bills on time, clean up after itself? It's a big one with roommates. I've been there. Finish what it starts. That's another problem when you're living with somebody. They'll leave their shoes here and their socks over there sometimes. Or leave energetic dishes in the sink. All right, so comment whatever you feel comfortable commenting below if you want to engage with us. Some of you have rituals still running from 2022. All right. All right, so it's meant to be fun. Supportive. There he is. How are you, my friend? How many unfinished journals do you own? I have a whole pile behind me. You can see it, actually. If you look where my hand is here, All right. You see those where my fingers are? Those are all notebooks full of notes, journals, book of shadow entries, recipes, spells, rituals. So obviously, now that I have this office done, all right, now I can work on the finer things in life and get the structuring under control. 30 ish, something like that. I don't know. I would probably say around that between my binders from Academy of Sorcery and then these notebooks, and there's another pile of notebooks I think in the other office because it's too cold this week, so I'm running everything out of here. And the modem is right here, and I will have you guys know you can't see it, but I do have us plugged into an Ethernet cord with an adapter, so no more lags. I have successfully over 3 days conquered the FPS challenge, and oddly enough, it was walking around Menards earlier grabbing cat food for our ghost hunt that's coming up at the end of the week. Chuck, we are driving to Pennsylvania, and we are going to meet Matt Hornick from Blue Mountain Paranormal. He is actually a practitioner as well, so it's going to be really cool. Oh, you do? Very good. So you're very much taking notes and learning from a bunch of different sources. That's really cool. So let's get into some more of this fun, semi relaxed. I'll even unbutton my blazer to show you guys that we can relax. And I'm wearing a tank top. Okay. And so I'm up here to show that obviously I'm a business owner, and so I want to make that known by wearing a blazer, but underneath I am all redneck. Okay. And so I've been just kind of laying back, working on the website, trying to figure out what I'm going to do with that. If we're going to have Alex as part of that, he's paranormal investigating. He's also one of our sorcerers at Paranormal Witchcrafts. So I'm working on all that stuff today, on top of including you guys, the Brotherhood of Male Witches. Now, Chuck, you might agree to this, and a lot of the Brotherhood may not. And I've asked the admin, and it's been 3 days now, and it's crickets. So, what I'm going to do is come up with a code of conduct over there, and it's going to be on top of the rules we already have. And it's going to be specifically for reining in discipline, making sure that the posting and the commenting is teaching, sharing, learning only. And I'm prepared to lose thousands of members to do that because there's just too much BS going on social medias, and I can't seem to get that group to fall in line without having to put down a hammer. And so I've asked the admin for permission. I've asked them pretty much if they would be okay with this because I think we need to do something over there, and that is part of the reason why we are here, because we're trying to escape the drama and the toxicity of social media right now. So let's get into this. If your magical practice walked into the room, would it be somebody who's intense, moody, obsessive, disciplined, etc.? Some of you have rituals and practices up from 2022. All right. And that's to say that you might need to rein yourself in, etc. All right. So if your practice had a personality, it might need therapy. We're going to have a little bit of fun today. And then we asked if your practice lived with you, would it pay bills on time? Would it clean up after itself? Would it finish what it starts or start 20 things all at once? Or would it leave energetic dishes in the sink for you? Okay. How many unfinished journals do you have? We paused. Chuck has 3 next to him. I have about 30, give or take. How many built in systems do you have? And I'll clarify here. And that's not a form of judgment. The built-in system is like, are you doing things from your mental capacity and routines as far as regulation and whatnot, or are you following structures that are written down like this? Well, that's what that question was referring to. Is it in your head or is it written down? And that question again was, how many half-built systems do you have? Okay. So are you trying to do things from mentality and you're effing up? Okay. And that's okay. Tighten stuff up. And this is not a form of judgment. We are never here to attack anything or anyone, and we are not here to challenge anyone's beliefs. Very good. So, if this goes well, I might go over there after this and do a similar thing with the Brotherhood and elaborate in person. All right, and spend about a half hour. So, I just got done listening to the State of the Union because I'm a ufologist. I have a passion for finding out whether that's really real or not. And so I've been hearing through all the serious grapevines here and other mainstream people I follow that there was hints that he might be alluding to the fact that we're going to have to admit that. And so, right before I came on, Chuck, I was listening to him just ramble and ramble and ramble like he does when he gives his addresses to the country. And I was like, would you just get to the part I care about? I'm about to go live. And so, um, I had much stronger, uh, well, that's not important. So, this isn't a form of judgment. Let's continue. By the way, these are things that I have asked the technology I'm using. And so when we format these scripts, this is me talking. Okay, so this isn't just a machine spitting something out. Maybe a lot of people are using it that way, but I'm not. It is meant to be used as a tool. You have to be smarter than the technology we're given on social media. Use it for a tool, use it for a business, use it for something good. All right. So this is pattern recognition. This is not an attack. Thank you so much. I like that. I like that. Let's try the personality types if your practice was a personality. We're profiling 5 personalities tonight as part of our fun loving conversation. All right, the romantic practice. This is somebody who loves atmosphere and candles and aesthetic and emotion and music and low repetition and high feeling, low tracking. Here's a line for them. They like beautiful altars. They might not have very much structure or architecture to their practice, but you know, you could ask a question like, have you ever felt powerful but couldn't repeat it? That's a good note for anyone out there who's trying to see if they're using activation instead of alignment. Next, do you have the escalator as a practice? And this would be a practice that looks like something like so. It would start small, it would double in intensity, it would add layers, it would burn out, it would have, do you treat rituals like a gym session you saw on TikTok? Whoa, I'm going to repeat that one. That one's a good one. Have you ever felt powerful but couldn't repeat it? Do you have an escalator practice, something that starts small? And that the question was, do you treat your rituals like a gym session you saw on TikTok? Now that's funny right there. If you can't laugh at that, you got to take a hard left off this channel. That's good. Or here's another question. Have you ever escalated too quickly? Okay, we all have. There's nothing wrong with being honest with this channel, okay? I'm not going to browbeat you. Is your practice more like the researcher, reads everything, studies constantly, rarely implements? Here's a line you could use for that type of practice. Your notes are elite, your executions are pending. That's a good one. How about maybe your practice could be the avoider? Practices when inspired, disappears under stress, calls in inconsistency cycles, pause longer here. I read that part. So when life gets heavy, is this the type of practice where you stabilize? Um, type of Does your practice stabilize you or do you vanish? So let me repeat that without tripping over my tongue. When life gets heavy, does your practice stabilize or do you vanish for weeks on end, etc.? Is your practice like the builder, Bob the Builder? Is it boring? Is it consistent? Is it structured? Is it quiet, not flashy, but deep? Who here wants to become this type of practice? I do because it's not drawing attention to yourself. It's not flashy. It's not using aesthetics. Again, it's structured, which shows responsibility and it shows morals. But again, use your free will, all right, and use what pleases you, like Chuck is, all right. All right, and that makes me so happy, actually, Chuck, that I just realized that you're using inspiration from me. I'm a nobody, bro, but thank you. Thank you for that. I was going to say something, and I'll probably say it in the Brotherhood. There's a lot of people in this world who want to be king, but, I'm one of those people that I don't want to be king, but if I'm ever a king, I'll know it's because I deserve it and I've earned it. All right. So maybe there's a parting note. That's totally not my intention. So I just really I get my rocks off out of being a service junkie. I really do. And a lot of people out there on this planet don't. And I guess, to them, I look like some kind of aesthetic fool, but it's really not. So, you know how that is, Chuck. So thank you for tuning in, my friend. So is it the avoider, which is more like what mine is now? Or not the avoider? I'm way off. The builder. All right. So here is a fire quiz. And since you're the only one here, Chuck, this ought to be in. I gotcha. Kind of like what I'm doing now. That's exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm using my Paranormal Witchcraft LLC hybrid 501, and I was talking to some witches earlier on the down low about what it would look like if I LLC'd the Brotherhood. Now, see, I have to go through Trevor and the boys to get acceptance for that because I will never roll over the rest of the admin like that. I won't do that. I want what they want. And if they don't want us to be a business that way, I won't do that. But I'm thinking about it. That's part of the restructuring we'll be talking about. Because the admins they're really not on social media at all right now. So it's really hard to get a hold of them. Life is like it's pulling them away so much they barely have time to say hi lately in the chat sometimes. So I'm not trying to step on toes or browbeat anybody, but I think you, Chuck, understand what I'm trying to do over there. Make it a safer place for all the new people and kick out all the drama. So when something works once, do you do you A, repeat it? B, do you intensify it? C, do you replace it? And I'll ask again and repeat the options. When something works once for you, do you, as a human, A, repeat it and comment with the letter? B, do you intensify it? Or C, do you replace it? And I'll play along. When something works for me once, I do A, but just to see if it works for me. If it doesn't, I will replace it. B? Okay. I do a safety check and then I intensify it. Interesting. I like how that worked out. Huh. That just shows how we both think differently, and that's kind of cool. We both. How am I trying to put this? We're both geared towards similar goals, but our outlooks are slightly different in perception, and so that's kind of what we're going for. Yes. Better articulation than I could have given. Now here's the next one. When stressed, friends, do you A, increase your practice? B, do you try to stay away from practice because you might be emotionally out of whack and that's dangerous? Or C, do you change systems? When stressed out, do you A, increase the practice? B, do you avoid practice because you don't trust yourself? Or C, do you change systems? Let me think about a specific example, and I've had one fairly recently. When I was stressed, I avoided practice and I changed systems. So if we look at it in the past few months with everything I'm going through, when I was pushed into a corner and stressed out, I immediately went over here because I knew that I had to choose my battles, and I knew the safest place I could go to in the interim was here, and it was the safest place to take both groups. Huh, interesting. So I changed systems. Oh, okay. Well, that works too. There are no right or wrong answers. That's the beauty about being a solitaire. Solitary is that, I don't know, because we have that option, I guess, to pick and choose. And I think that makes others kind of nervous a little bit. I don't know. You'd be surprised, my friend. There's a lot of motherfucker moments people don't see. Why do you think I'm missing half my hairline now? A year ago, I had this much more hair. I'm not kidding you. This has been one of the most stressful years I've ever entered, but you know what it's like when you're doing something in passion, you're not working. And so for the past 2.5 months plus, I've been up 20 hours a day easy and not even flinching. Like I've had days where, like last night, I told Chris I was going to come on here and try a live at 9, and I fell out and he got mad at me. And it's like, well, I don't think a lot of people coming to me understand that I have two large groups. I have other groups I'm helping. I have a business. I have a house, blah, blah. And so after that, he was like, oh, okay. And so it's like, well, duh. But some people, I guess, don't stop and think about it first. I don't know. I was talking to a witch earlier, Chuck, about the Louisiana trip next summer. And it is a fellow practitioner. And so, um, also has some friends in New Orleans, and so it was an interesting little conversation, and definitely agrees with your advice. All right, because I was telling him how I don't like crowds and stuff, and definitely take Chuck's advice. You don't want to be there near Mardi Gras, and it's going, I believe, fairly soon as well. And so they were excited, and they said to say you hi. They said to say hi, and so I think they know you from these podcasts. You know them as Moon. So they're a cool person. Um, Here's another question. How many tarot decks or divination decks, like Oracle, tarot, or divination will confuse people? Let me clarify. How many tarot or Oracle or do you think you own? And I will turn this to look at mine. All right, and I'll turn my chair. So there is mine, and then I have two in front of me. Here. And then I have Witch's Ruins, Pendulum, Further Ruins above the workbench, and Fonda has a couple decks out in the kitchen. So when she gets up, she brings them out here. The living room is her workspace. She has her own little office, and then her printer's in the back office. And then she uses this printer during the night now because I showed her how to sync it. And so now she just has to get off the couch if she has a client overnight because she's a mental health clinician. She works with 988. And so she will be getting up at 10 to midnight, and then she works overnight. So if you guys you'll meet her next summer. And so if she's yawning a lot, she's just a tired girl, but pay her no mind. So I have about, I think I counted, I have 54 or 56 decks in total. Ah, gotcha. So, which one, the Witch's Ruins or the Furtherk Ruins? I'm going to guess you're saying the normal Furtherk Ruins that most people know about, not the Witch's Ruins that most people really aren't too privy to. Okay, you are correct, my friend. All right, let's continue. Well, that's not bad. So, when I was doing the website and stuff and using the AI, what I like is it'll go through your histories and you can talk to it verbatim, put it on speaker, and it's helpful. But what I didn't like is when it would go to finish things for you, it made mistakes. Uh, And one part it called me Dusty. I'm not Dusty. I like somebody named Dusty as a tarot reader, and she's actually here. All right. And she is ScorpioPriestess.com. She's an intuitive medium. She is a professional tarot reader, and her name is Dusty. And so it confused that. And then it said stuff like I have decades of experience as in the occult and esoteric, and I do not. I have a decade of witchcrafts experience. And so I had to go in and tweak a couple things after I already published to Facebook, going, well, son of a bitch, because I didn't catch it when I proofread it the first time. So I'm taking a lot more time to go slower. So that way, the website we've built that is it's published, but it's not fully operational yet. I'm going to sneeze. Um, it's going to have things like Alex and Brotherhood and stuff attached to it. So, how many practices are active right now? You just have one practice. I have just one practice. Okay. I do know some people that have one or more. So, that's going to be probably more of a professional practitioner type of question to answer. And that's just a goal for me. I would like to say that I am advanced, but to be professional, I have some work to do. All right, so it's definitely an inspiration. Obviously, I can carry myself professionally. All right, but I don't like to term myself professional. So let's do hot butt or hot bun fun truths. You are correct. It is THARK. You were close. With me, now I don't know what people call me anymore. I people calling me mentor. I have other people calling me a leader. I have other witches, saying I'm none, all right, or neither, right? And so I just tell everybody, I'm just a nobody doing my thing, all right. And like I told you, anything, it's because people have put me there, not myself. I think you understand that. If your practice only shows up when you're inspired, then that should be indicative you have a commitment issue. Me and you know that. Now, if you are changing systems every month, like you're going from paganism, and then next month you're a Wiccan, and then next month you're a sorcerer, and next month you're a solitary, right? That might be a problem for you. That might mean you have a severe identity confusion problem. All right. And that's not something that we can diagnose here. We'll refer you to mental health professionals, etc., if that's the case. But, if your system changes every month, you might have an identity problem. And I can try to help you with that, but I'm not sure I'm going to be much good. Let's finish this thing. All right. And I'm going to eat some dinner. Or we'll finish this thing and I'll kick dinner back and we'll do a quick live on Facebook if that makes everybody happier. If your practice only feels powerful sometimes, or if it only feels powerful when it's dramatic, then you are craving attention. All right. And that's not what you would want people to see to be your practice, right? Okay. Which one stung a little? All right. And we can let the chat react, all right, to any of those. If your practice only feels powerful when it's dramatic, it craves attention, all right. Again, we are not here to challenge anybody's beliefs. And remember, entertainment purposes only. And ultimately, this framework will not be for everybody, okay? Is your discipline lived through oh, so here's some more humor. If your discipline lived through a Midwest winter, and that's where I'm from, is the Midwest, would it survive February? It's pretty cold this month. Or only perform in October? You get the pun there. Is your consistency seasonal like pumpkin spice, or is it 365, 7 days a week like myself and Brother Chuck? Okay. Is your consistency seasonal like pumpkin spice or peppermint mocha? Are you October powerful or February disciplined? Sorry, I couldn't keep a straight face. Are you? Let me try. Let me try. Let's be serious here. Okay. Are you October powerful or are you February disciplined? It's better. Tonight, we redesign your practice's personality. Vote in the chat if you want to. Which trait does your practice most need? And be honest, and I'll be honest with you as well. I think you know me pretty good. Which trait does your practice need most? Stability, patience, more structure, more follow through, calmness, more boredom tolerance, meaning when things aren't going well for you, don't engage in 18 rituals to make yourself feel good. Okay, that's kind of like buying a bag of chocolate and giving yourself a stomach ache. You're you're not going to be too proud of yourself after that. Okay, and so and don't be doing shame magicking. I don't know if that's a term, but all right, something like that. Does that make any sense? It's kind of like shame magicking. You're trying to stuff away, you're trying to ritualize away some type of feeling. Don't do that, okay? Yeah, okay. And I know what that feels like, especially the winter blues, like we were talking about earlier in the week. You know, a lot of people get bored, a lot of people get depressed, a lot of people have had a lot of past trauma in their life too that I recognize, all right, because I'm one of them. All right, and so the holidays might be especially a hard time. Most of the holidays fall in fall through winter season, okay? And so that's why I'm gentler with people because I understand that. I'm one of you guys, okay? Um, and so for me, sometimes it needs more calmness. That's why I'm getting up here and restructuring myself as well through these podcasts. Believe it or not, I am subconsciously training myself right now how to be a completely different person by the end of the year. All right. And so I am playing along with all you guys because change is what it's all about. Okay. And structure will get you there. So here's some micro actions. You guys can follow along if you want to. You don't have to. Now, the other reason we only have one person in here, Chris, is because right now everyone is either in bed, playing a game, all right, or doing a podcast themselves, etc. And so I think when we go back to Facebook, we'll have at least 5 people, and I'm going to broadcast it from Brotherhood of Male Witches group. So here's a micro action. Stability. Try something at the same time for 7 days. No escalation in yourself for. Try to use structure. Try to use follow through. Try to use more calmness. Try to get yourself to comfortably, like we've been talking about, for 10 minutes in silence. So if I stop talking for 10 seconds, all we're going to hear is the clock that me and Chuck love so much. Okay, and so you see it didn't kill you. Now try to practice more of that, and then more than 10 minutes, etc. Finish one journal if you want to. Try to repeat one practice. So either pull one ruin, do 5 minutes of meditation, um, whatever it is you choose to do of your own free will, of your practice 5 times over the next 7 days. Very small, simple, 5 little things. All right. And I'll go through it with you. I can do stability at the same time every day for 7 days. And I do that. So after I do a live, before I go over there, I'll have a cigarette. I'll get a drink of water. I'll go to the bathroom. I'll reset myself. And then in 5 to 10 minutes, we'll go live over there. Okay. One practice that I can do 5 days straight, and please remind me next week if I forget, family, all right, or followers, mentees. I don't know if I should call you a mentee, Chuck. I'm not sure. I'm very careful with using that term. I didn't like being a sponsor when I was a sponsor a few years back, because I really don't like uh, having the risk of being to blame for if somebody takes advices and goes out there and FAFOs and then tries to come back and blame me. So I just have a weird personality thing with that. And so I don't mind helping people and using myself to mentor lightly. Okay. But I'm not sure I'm entirely comfortable with the term just yet. Short, direct, doable. I agree. If you agree, comment below. You don't have to, though. Let's go into some deeper psychology. Your practice mirrors your stress tolerance, your ego at the moment, your impulse control if you're on camera like I am, your attachment style depending on if you thumbs, tag, etc. Doable. I like that. Very positive, very gypsy hippie like attitude. I don't know if you're a hippie or anything like that, Chuck, but I was a huge fan of Jim Morrison. No one here gets out alive. You take yours, baby. I'll take mine. We're gonna make it, baby, if we try. Yeah. Oh yeah, I love the Doors. Is everybody in? Is everybody in? The ceremony is about to begin. Let's see, what else can I verbatim since I hooked you here? You must be, well, you must not hate the Doors to understand my references. Let's see. What else? One of their most favorite songs. Come on, baby, light my fire. Let's see what else. Strange Days. People are strange when you're a stranger. People look ugly when you're alone. All right, so yeah, I might have probably should have been born about that time because I was a huge hippie fan and I wore bell bottoms. And neato enough, in high school, true story, fuck it, we'll just go off script here. I was I was one of those very. I've always been this way. We'll start there. I've always been this unique. I've never, ever in my life ever beated to the world's drums ever. I just don't know how to do that like you. Like I have no interest in being a yuppie. I have no interest in being this. And I have no interest in being that. And I have no interest in conforming. And I have no interest in laws of man sometimes. I'm very rogue. I'm very feral that way. And so, in high school, I had an actual Seuss hat. I dressed a lot like Jim Morrison. I was very much oh yeah, I mimicked everything that man did. I had the hair, I had the leather pants. I mean, you can picture it. I'll have to go find my yearbook for you, because I can go to Classmates, I think, and find some of those pictures. But yeah, and that is where I wrote the poem, and I'll recite it after the live here. And so, oh yeah, man. I can't sing for shit, but I do love to sing. And Trevor is our resident professional musician over there. He ran a very successful professional hard rock band in the mean streets of New Jersey for years. And so you should go check out his YouTube shit. Trevor makes me look like Kurt Cobain when it comes to singing, but I love to sing, so fuck it, right? I have that welcome to the jungle attitude. I just can't carry the tone, right? Your stress, so your practice will mirror. Everyone around you will get to see these things about you, and I'll list them again. Your stress intolerance will show, your ego will show, your impulse control will show, your attachment style will show, your boredom, your boredom intolerance. You can't stand not getting attention, etc. Right? Do you post 15 times a day in the Brotherhood? That'll be a sign to us that we have to restrict you, etc. You cannot out ritual your nervous system. You can't out ritual your nervous system. I'm sorry. Your practice already has a personality. I'm sorry, but I love my personality, Chuck. I'm going to share something with you that I rarely share publicly. I've had probably a dozen or so people or more throughout my life tell me something along the lines of this. You have it. You have something about you. There is something about your voice. Your energy is infectious. You have that star factor, etc. And I really don't like that, but I've had one today. So it makes it the magical lucky number of 13. And it was pretty much along the lines that there's something about me. It's not necessarily Tobias Josephson. It's what's coming out of him. I wish to gods and goddesses I knew what it was. All right, but I'll tell you what I'm telling everybody else. I know that there's something inside of me. That's why I'm up here. I've been chewed up, spit out, booed off stage. All right, I've been made irrelevant, illegitimate. All right, I've been crucified in our own group over there. All right, before the shutdown a year and a half ago, that's what that was. Bunch of talk witches that I don't know if you remember that. They were calling me all kinds of stuff, and I left them in the group. So, and here I am, bro. I'm still standing. I'm still a witch, and I'm still not backing down from any human being, right? And so I've always been this person. Now, I wish to gods I knew what it was I'm supposed to do. Am I supposed to lean into the rock star vibe? Am I supposed to break off into paranormal? Or am I going off into the witchcraft era? I don't know. I just know I have a business now and I want to see what I can make of it, right? And it's very much going to be like, welcome to the jungle. We're just going to have some fucking fun, man. The world's on fucking fire. Is nobody looking what's going on around us in traffic? Even, I mean, my God, I'm going to have some fun this year. The fire horse energy, bro. More people need to know how fucking freeing this is. When you know that you don't have to prove your authenticity. And I know damn well why I have the multitude of enemies on social that I do. It's because of this. And I'm sorry there's an air of jealousy. I'm sorry there's an air of bitterness. I'm sorry that our admins have thrown people out of that group and that's why they're coming after. I don't know, man. I just know I'm not. I get up every day and I do the same thing. I keep my head down and I show love to the people who show love to me. So, your practice already has a personality. You just haven't escalated it right, in a way that's going to work for you. All right. And I mean that in the best way possible. Like, obviously, I take pride and it makes my heart swell when somebody says, you're not really, you are a good witch. It's like, great. Okay. But I say that in this way. How many people do we know that promote themselves as they literally have to say it in their profiles or other forms, a good witch? Okay. The only reason I did that on my profile bio was just to be funny, because it was meant to be a smirk, like an eye roll. Like, what are we doing? Like, if you're a good witch, why do you have to promote yourself as a good witch? People should see you looking like this, treating people with love like I am tonight, all right? And not reacting to people who throw rocks and hit me in the side of the head on purpose, all right? But that being said, your practice has a personality. It's you guys. So what you put out there in your practice is what you're going to get back. What you show personality wise is what people are going to look at. Okay. Makes sense. But there is good news. We don't need a new system here. Okay. You just need a more mature pattern. All right. And that is not a bad thing. Okay. You won't find me. You won't find Chuck. You won't find the Brotherhood. And certainly won't find the business of Paranormal Witchcraft LLC ever talking down to you guys for growth. That's a form of growth. If you make a mistake, it's meant to teach you something positive, not to irritate you. It's meant to irritate you to teach you something positive. Okay. So slow down. All right. Like I did. I started to get passionate a second ago. All right. I paused and now I'm restabilized. All right. And so this is part of the containment over our personal chaos. Okay. You can't out ritual your nervous system. Okay. Let's end this thing and then we can shoot the shit for a little bit if you'd like. Or we can end and go to Facebook where you're more comfortable. You tell me, brother. You know how I roll. So here's the question for the end of the night. And I don't know how many viewers we have because I don't see those analytics until after I end the stream. And please remember, we are a new business. All right. We are 501c hybrid. Okay. And I am interested in making Brotherhood LLC, but like I said, those brothers that help me run that group are brothers from another mother, and I will not go against what they want. All right. I will take the 13,000 members heat versus doing anything that's going to hurt my friends in the admin's chat. So the question is, my friends, of your practice, and answer bluntly and very honestly. We are not going to look down on you here as practicers at the Brotherhood of Male Witches. I do not allow that kind of behavior in that group. Are you proud of your practice as it stands right now? I'll ask again. Are you proud of your practice as it stands right now? Answer honestly. If you answer no, I'm not going to ask you why. You'll know why. It's purely for engagement. It's purely for the algorithm. When we show the algorithm engagement, apparently it picks up its sniffer. All right. All right. That's a great answer. All right. Because what Chuck is saying is exactly the right answer to give. My practice needs structure every single day. And every day I start to think I might be able to be comfortable is the day I actually will make sure I do more than my fair share in my routine. Okay. Not less. Okay. Because I'm that afraid. I look at it, I look at my craft like I do my recovery. One day at a time. Okay. I can only control what I can control every day with the amount of time I have. That's the best I can do. And the best I can control is right here. Make sure I'm not going to run over my kitty. And there's a papasan right behind me, another hippie thing. I'm caught up in the blanket. Hold on. All right. And so we can do some breath work after this. I forgot my point, so I'll keep going. And so if you're proud of your craft, but it needs work, or it should always need work, you should never ever think you've reached perfection as a practitioner. That's a folly. Okay. I'm just doing this for my knees and my butt and my back. The Brotherhood of Male Witches has a goal, all right, and its core structure is simply to build stable practicing personalities. The Brotherhood of Male Witches is simply here to help build stable practicing personalities. All right. That will go in the workshop binder. I did buy some binders today. That is 8 minutes off, but how fitting since we just ended the live stream technically. How are you, Chuck? Let us take a 5 minute break and I will see you guys. Good. I will see you guys in about 5 minutes on social media in the Brotherhood of Male Witches. So thank you for tuning in, Chuck. I'm going to let this thing do what it does. And I'll give you a secret in here. All right. What we're going to do after this 4-part series with both groups is I'm focusing on 30 days, hardcore restructuring discipline, 30 days of consistency, morning, night, morning, night, morning, night. All right. And so the teams know that, but the members and the rest of social media don't really know that yet. So, and obviously the people who haven't tuned into these lives haven't really figured out what's going on yet. So it's probably going to take about 30 days. And so I'm using the advices of my friends like Phil Caldwell and others and other witches who have more of a presence here and other places to give me professional advices. And so give me about 5 minutes. We'll see you over there. Thank you. And if you're going to bed for the night, brother, I love you. Blessings and blessed be. And if not, we'll see you in a few minutes.